Oh, so good.
Here we go.
Here we go.
All right.
Over to the commentators.
Yes.
All right.
We're not on yet.
So, is my mic working?
Yeah, we're good. I
All
think
right,
we're good.
excellent. So I'm Sir Squeebles, this is Laz. This is obviously the first match in the best of 5. Team Serenity has fielded 2 Fleet Typhoons, Ares, Double Merlin, and
Team TQ has responded with 2 Navitas, 2 Ishtars, and an EOS.
they sound like they're already pretty excited about what's happening here. Fleet Typhoons are drifting out. They're probably going to be cruise fit. They can apply damage from huge range, and they are booking it pretty quickly right now, but there are damps on those, probably from the mid slots to those Ishtars, so they're going to have a really hard time getting missile damage down.
Yeah, a lot of the Serenity team setups did come across as kiting setups. You're going to see a lot of damps, a lot of MWDs in range trying to be kept on the other side.
And really, no appreciable damage coming across, but again, those Fleet Typhoons are damped, and that's bad news. So they're going to have to rush in. They do have a utility high slot, which in all likelihood they will have a newt, so they're probably going to get in and try and pressure. Maybe the EOS, shut off the links that EOS has. It's not going anywhere, although that first Merlin is now painted. That is the Merlin of Tanis, and he took a little bit of damage. Looks like he's pulling range. He's going 2,500, so he's not in any trouble yet. Oh, well, he's in a little trouble now.
And they have no logistics, so this is going down pretty quickly.
Go. He's still going, still holding. He's overheating, and he's down.
Yes, he's down. First blood.
Right.
First blood of World Squad, guys.
All right, well, if we take nothing else home for TQ, we have that to live on. So these, the other Merlin is drifting around. He doesn't want to get anywhere close to those bouncers, which is, I believe, what they have out. Pretty much wherever that painter goes onto Team Serenity, it's going to be really difficult for them to stay alive. The Ishtar nerfs are coming, but they're not strong enough yet. And it's
we actually have heavy drones, Praetors. We do have a set of Praetors from the Ishtars.
They're called Team
Okay. Typhoons are playing issues. A lot of damage coming in on the Ishtar of Eshnala.
Yeah, and he's holding pretty well for now, but it is going.
It's going to be huge. The small revs on the Navitas are not able to keep him up. The first Ishtar is instructed. He's going to go down.
Yeah,
first down for Team Serenity. That is a big blow. The first DPS shipped down for the TQ team.
Yeah, that was not a good trade. Those 2 Merlins are really important because those 2 Merlins have to tackle one of the Ishtars so that the Fleet Typhoons can get in damage range. Those damps are still doing work, but assuming the damps are coming off the Ishtar, they now have half the damps they did before. So that's going to be rough. I assume the Navitas is the one painting. We'll try and check and confirm that. But
yeah, they're going to try to get this Ares off the field. The Interceptor is going to have the point range bonus, and it's going to try to get in and get tackle on these Ishtars, slow them down, let these Typhoons get close enough to apply damage.
Honestly, I'm concerned for Team TQ because if that other Ishtar goes down, and EOS does pretty good damage, but not enough to kill these Fleet Typhoons. So Serenity needs to commit right now. They need to try and get in. That Ares has to be brave, which brave and probably dead shortly thereafter, but he has got to get tackle, and he's got to let these Fleet Typhoons get in on either the Ishtar or the EOS as soon as possible.
And he really just needs the whole point long enough for those newts to get into effect. And once the newts from the Typhoons get onto these targets,
I think they have enough damage even without the newts, honestly. If I were the EOS or the Ishtar pilot, I would be sweating profusely right now. Thankfully, I'm not. So again, no real action going on. The damps coming off of the TQ team are really effective. If they didn't have that E-War in the mid slots, this would probably be a very different match. You saw how quick that first Ishtar went down. So
well, and the Typhoons are only doing 170 EMS right now, where you do have the Ares going about 4K. So he can keep up with any of the ships on the TQ team with that Ares.
And it's kind of curious. Okay, so first Fleet Typhoon of Stepnik, now taking damage. It's not going to take long for him to go down. A flight of heavies off of an EOS and an Ishtar, that's a lot of damage. He is also presumably a shield tank for max DPS. I could be wrong about that, but I bet when his shield disappears, so will the rest of him. And probably their hopes of winning the first match. We'll see how that goes. So he's now dipping into armor.
It's not going down as quickly as I thought it would. As we see a huge chunk just immediately evaporated off of that ship. They did do really well getting that first.
And a web now on the Ares, so not only is this Fleet Typhoon going to die, but that Ares is going to go shortly thereafter. It looks, so there's a scram notification on the Ares. He's going to go down. This Fleet Typhoon is going down really without being able to return any damage on the Team TQ, so.
Yeah, the fast lock time of the cruiser is able to use those mid slots on the Ishtars and apply damps very early in the match on these battleships with a larger 6 size, which means a faster lock time. That really gave them a huge advantage from the start of the fight.
So there's a nice shot of the EOS, who's not too nervous. He's just kind of zipping around waiting for this Fleet Typhoon to die, at which point he'll be a little bit happier. There's still an immense amount of damage in those Fleet Typhoons, though. If they get within range of that Ishtar will pop before this first Fleet Typhoon does.
Right,
and this Ares is now going super, super low.
They have swapped off the Fleet Typhoon, swapped all their drones onto the Ares now that the tackle is applied. You do see a point on the Navitas, but he's going to be most likely afterburner fit and going to ignore the damage.
As soon as that Ares dies, the ability of the Fleet Typhoons to get in proper DPS range on the TQ team.
And he's down.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. So they already had a tough road. I think that Ares pilot finally realized there was no option. He was going to have to dive in for the tackle. So it's unfortunate to be that guy, but it's a lose-lose in that situation. However, the EOS is taking shield damage. Yep. I don't think it's going to be concerning, as the Fleet Typhoon of Stepnik is now really going down in fantastic fashion.
Yeah, we're not really seeing much reps being pulled back here. Just the sheer amount of damage from the Praetors. And with the Praetors being a mobile platform, they're able to assign and just pull range. They're able to use these damage.
They have actually switched to Berserkers. So they drop the Praetors, they abandon those, they drop Berserkers. Right. That's what's doing all this damage. Unless these Navitas pilots start repping the enemy, which has happened many times in tournaments before, I think Team Serenity is probably going to lose this first match in the best of 5, which is a rough way to start.
Yeah, so it looks like his shield booster is helping him hold on in deep structure, but this EOS is melting pretty quickly.
I'm trying not to shout at the EOS pilot to stay alive.
Well, and this EOS might go down before the Fleet Typhoon with the amount of damage being applied to it.
It is amazing how well this Fleet Typhoon is tanked, actually. I have no idea. It seems like he was armor tanked, and then it seems like he's structure tanked. He's only going 600 MS. It's not going well. So if they lose the EOS before this Fleet Typhoon goes down, it's going to potentially be to a points game, right? So we'll have 14 on the Ishtar. We'll have a total of 18 left for Team TQ.
The damps did just fall off for a second, and now only one of the Fleet Typhoons is being damped at the moment, so they can apply DPS a little more freely now.
Well, those Fleet Typhoons are faction battleships, so that's 19 points, right? That's the print is smaller down here, I do apologize. 19 points, so essentially, if they trade the Fleet Typhoon for the EOS, Serenity is going to take it by a 1-point margin if he can survive until the end of the match.
So the Fleet Typhoon is in half structure, the EOS is in Ellen structure, he's more structure, he's almost there, guys. He's down, the EOS is down, guys. This is such a tight match, guys. He is still D structure on the Typhoon. So it's really come down to this Fleet Typhoon to be able to pull some shields back and keep the DPS on the field.
I'm changing my bet to Serenity now. Oh my God.
As Navitas quickly follows.
That's beautiful. So at this point, Serenity, all they have to do is keep that one Typhoon alive. It's over. That Ishtar cannot sink that Fleet Typhoon. That was a comeback. Okay, so if everything keeps going as it is, you're going to end up with the one Fleet Typhoon who may or may not be able to chase down that Ishtar. Even if he does, he probably doesn't have a tackle module. So that Ishtar will probably survive just so that guy can tell the other 4 to stop dying in the next match. But they might even save both these Fleet Typhoons. The damage application has been so poor, and it seems like he has so many bulkheads on that Fleet Typhoon that they just can't win. That's pretty incredible. But again, the damp pressure is now down, so at least one of these Fleet Typhoons will be able to apply at all times.
The Ishtar has pulled damps off of the dying Typhoon and put it onto the full health Typhoon, hoping to finish this off pretty quickly.
Yeah. So this Ishtar might score a small victory in taking down the second Fleet Typhoon, although it doesn't look that way. But if he does, again, round of applause. But at this point, it is going to be very, very, very difficult, next to impossible for Tranquility to come back.
I was really worried coming into this match because the Navitas is a small repair frigate, and it does have a tiny SIG radius. And here comes the damage being applied to the Ishtar.
This is not looking good. All right, so if this happens, I'm making an account on Serenity as soon as possible so I can start practicing, because this was close, but they stayed with it. I mean, that was some commitment, because they looked really bleak for a minute, and this Ishtar is about to go into structure, and I'm afraid he's not going to make it out of this match.
He already has the new to fly, which means he's within 30K of this Typhoon, and then you see him fly past the Ishtar. This is pretty much the end of the show for this Ishtar.
And here we're going to see CCP's new visual effect for losing all hope, and that's going to come up here in the next minute.
Well played.
So if you watch when he explodes, there's a tiny frowny face right in the middle. That's awesome.